Fortunes of war can change their way. We imagine our lives will be. The March family are on their way. Make Joe, Beth, and Amy.
The day after Father left us to report back to his Union Army headquarters, the Confederate Army marched into York and took over the town. They were retreating to Virginia and had just stopped here to rest on their way before moving on. It was a shock being surrounded by enemy soldiers and seeing the enemy's flag actually raised over our own town hall.
Anything new?
Oh, only a civilian message, sir. An order for cows. Not a single wire has come in for the Union Army since we arrived in town.
That means we haven't been detected, son. I intend to keep the Union generals guessing just as long as I can.
Yes, sir.
Stay on the wire. I'll check with you later.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jessup, our town mayor, met with the community leaders to discuss the situation, but they were powerless to do anything about it. We were at the enemy's mercy.
Good afternoon. Well now, gentlemen, I've given you time to deliberate. Do we have an agreement yet?
I think we have no other choice but to accept your terms.
Thank you, sir. My soldiers will be extremely grateful.
Yes, that may be so. But one matter still worries me. If we provide your soldiers with food and shelter, then we must have your assurance that no harm of any nature will come to our townspeople.
That's right, sir. You have my word as a Southern gentleman on that.
Well, shall we have a mint julep?
My sister Jo talked Marmee into letting her go outside so she could see what was going on. The sight of the enemy soldiers didn't scare Jo a bit, and she passed right among them just as calm as you please. If Jo had her way, she'd be in uniform herself, fighting right alongside our father. When she saw the size of the rebel army and all their heavy weapons, though, even Jo was impressed and alarmed at the tense situation all of us were facing.
Oh! Open the door, please! Thank you, Amy.
Well, don't just stand there, Jo. What did you see in town? Were there any soldiers?
My goodness, Amy, it looks like a military base out there with Confederate uniforms everywhere you look.
Well, tell us.
Mother, look! Joe's back.
I'm dreadfully worried for all of us. Those Confederate soldiers are everywhere, aren't they, dear?
Yes, but please don't think poorly of them. Sure, we may call them the enemy for now, but they're really just Americans like us.
Yes, but your father's gone to war, and these soldiers are on the other side.
Oh, my. I guess I never looked at it like that. This is altogether too confusing, isn't it?
Please, Joe, do tell on. We're most anxious to hear.
Yes, how many soldiers have come?
Oh, I dare say there's far too many to count, and they've brought some big cannons with them.
Oh, but why do you suppose they've chosen to occupy a town as small as this one?
They don't intend to occupy our town. I think they're just resting here while they plan their next move. Don't you remember Father telling us the Confederates are on their way to Washington, where President Lincoln lives?
If that's so, perhaps those soldiers and their weapons will be gone from here in no time.
Well, I shouldn't be at all surprised. You see, they made a frontal attack on Washington several times and always failed. So this time, they're more than likely planning to attack from behind.
Mercy, aren't you the jolly military expert?
Not really.
But you're able to discuss battle strategies the very same way a man would.
I'll have you all know that I'm not putting on airs. When Papa went to war, fatherly responsibilities were left to me.
I suppose that makes you the man of the family.
What?
I didn't mean that, Jo. What I really meant to say was that...
Well, actually, I'm afraid I have to agree with you.
Oh?
That's enough. You know that you're a pretty and impressionable young girl. And from now on, you shan't be going outside.
Yes, And Hannah, I forgot to mention there were some Negro soldiers in the Confederate Army, too.
Child, I reckon they was forced to join that army.
Has anyone told them that President Lincoln has declared they can no longer be held as slaves? Ever since he announced the Emancipation Proclamation, all Negroes are free men.
And more's the pity if they're free men and they don't even know it.
Maybe they knows but can't do nothing about it. They'd be made to fight against their wills like they were still slaves.
Goodness knows it had been ever so long since there was such a flurry of activity in our quiet little town. But we could only watch from the inside and guess what was really taking place.
Do you think that the army will be moving on soon?
Yes, I'm certain of it because those messengers have been especially active lately.
Oh, I understand. The soldier riding on horseback is a messenger.
You know, it's quite possible that our United States Army is coming this way, Meg.
Oh, my. That would mean our town might turn into a battlefield.
After receiving our father's report, the Union Army must be preparing to do battle with the Confederate soldiers somewhere nearby and soon.
Does that mean you think men will soon be fighting right here?
I shouldn't imagine that they'd meet right in town, yet it probably won't be very far away.
Mercy, is this terrible news based on something you've definitely overheard today? Or rather what you've put together on your own, Joe, using your active imagination?
No, I figured it out all by myself.
What could I have been thinking? Why do I ask questions when I know the answers will upset me so? Should those armies meet close by in battle as you predict, I'm afraid it won't be safe to stay here in our home.
We should have moved to Newport some time ago when we were thinking about it. Ugh.
While Meg and Joe were all in a passion over the war, elsewhere in the house, Hannah was concerned about matters closer to her own heart.
Miss Mary, I was just wondering, do you think the Confederate soldiers could force the colored folk in this town to fight alongside them in the war?
No, dear, I wouldn't think that would be possible. Thanks to Mr. Lincoln, all the Negroes are as free and independent as any white man. Slavery simply no longer exists.
Well, Mr. Lincoln may say so. The fact is, the whites in the South still think Negroes are slaves and treat them that way.
Let them believe whatever they like, Hannah. Nonetheless, things have changed. And some people just can't admit that yet. But all of your friends are free to come and go as they please around here.
Thank you, Miss Mary. Things will be much better in the world when everybody's treated equal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. It's time to move out.
Yes, sir.
Where's John? Has anyone seen him?
Hey, anybody seen John?
No.
You suppose he just ran away?
Hey there, any sign of the Union Army? Where you been?
Not yet, soldier, but they're bound to catch up to us if we're all not out of here soon.
No, sir, I can't find him anywhere, sir.
That coward, he's run away. Everybody spread out and find him.
Now do I beseech thee of everlasting grace, look kindly upon us in this mortal race. Yes, airy sprite, please do show us the way, but still in my heart I must say, oh, charms and potions canst thou see we need. Deliver yourself now, and with elfin speed.
Joe? I fear that something's wrong with Milky Ann.
Could she be sick like last time?
I don't think so. She drank a lot of water. Her tummy's just bloated, that's all.
Then you know what'll happen next. Now quickly, Beth, take her outside.
But I promised to watch her carefully.
We're not going to clean the carpet again, young lady. Outside.
Joe can be such a crosspatch sometimes, but Beth's common sense was every bit the equal to her fondness for Milky Ann. She wished with all her might that the kitten might soon take the hint, which it did.
Isn't Milky Ann the smartest little cat?
Perhaps if you filled a box with earth and put it in the corner of the room, you could quickly teach Milky Ann to know it's the proper place.
That's a wonderful idea, Joe. Where would I find a litter box?
Take a look in the work shed. You should find something there. Hey. Ow, well, hey, that's it. That's a good little puss. Oh, hey, cut it out, kitty. Ow, that hurt. You've been bad. Now come here, you little Dickens. You come on, puss. That's it. I won't hurt you. Yes, calm down. Aren't we the fluffy little troublemaker? Have you found the box? Beth, dear. Milky, I wonder if something's wrong. Beth? Have you found a box? Beth? Did you hear what I said? Oh, Beth? Are you in here? Oh, my. Beth, is anything wrong? If this is a trick of yours, I promise I'll give you a good shaking for being ever so wicked. Beth, good heavens! Oh, my! Who are you, you terrible man? Let her go right now! Let Beth go! What do you think you're doing?
Now, don't scream, young lady. I won't be responsible for what happens next if you scream here.
Please, sir, I won't make a sound.
Hush up that darn cat right now!
Oh. Yes, sir, you have my word. Just please don't harm my sister.
Nah, it ain't my intention to hurt nobody, miss. Believe me, it ain't.
Then what do you want with my sister? And why are you here? Please tell me who you are.
I's John. I'm a slave who just now run away from that Confederate army, miss. I need your help.
What? Marmee, you have to come with me right this instant. Hurry!
Yeah.
To the old shed out back. Someone's captured our little Beth. We've got to do something.
Calm down and start again at the very beginning, Joe. I could barely understand you.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm extremely upset. There's a Negro slave who's run away from the Confederate Army just this afternoon, and he's hiding out back in our work shed. Beth went out there to look for something, and that's when he grabbed onto her.
Oh, dear, why is he doing this?
Well, the man is ever so frightened, and he doesn't want us to hand him back over to the Confederate Army, that's all.
Beth is his hostage?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Mother.
Anyways, John says... Oh, yes, I forgot. This fellow has told me his name is John. John says that the Confederate Army will be moving away from our town before very long. And he figures that he can be free of the Army forever if he can just hide here until late this evening, because most of the soldiers should be gone by then.
Yes, but it's just not fair that he involved Beth in this with him.
Of course not.
And soon the Army will be looking everywhere for him.
That's right. John knows they're not just going to let him go.
That shed is no place for him. If he hides out there, he's certain to be caught because that's the first place that they'll look.
Mother, dear, you must come to a decision. Beth's life is in danger. She desperately needs us.
Those next few seconds seemed as if they were an eternity. It was perfectly maddening to think that Beth was in the hands of some horrid man. But Mother seemed to understand why John was driven to such a desperate act.
I have no choice but to go out and attempt to reason with him. Please go tell Hannah to come here.
Yes'm. I'll fetch her right away. She's in the kitchen.
Joe, dear, I want your opinion. Do you believe that we should help John?
Yes, Marmee, I most certainly do.
Mm-hmm. Ah.
Anything I can do, Miss Mary?
I'd like you to come with me. I'm going out to the shed.
Yes'm.
Meg and Amy, I want you to stay inside. You too, Joe. You understand.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a big help if you'd keep watch, and should the Army arrive, please let me know.
I shall.
But, Mommy, isn't this dangerous?
Now, don't fret one bit. Everything will be fine. Please don't be afraid now. I own this house and my name is Mary. This is Hannah.
Hello?
Whatever may be bothering you now, John, my Beth had nothing to do with it. Please let her go.
Pay attention to what she's saying. This lady'll make no trouble for you if you just set her little girl free now.
Mm-hmm. You know what it's like to be held against your will? Isn't that why you're here?
Well...
Son.
Well...
Thank you, mister.
Go on now, young lady.
Mother, I knew you'd come. Oh.
Everything will be just fine now, Beth.
I'm not going to cry anymore. I'm almost a grown-up.
Beth, now go back inside. Your sisters were worried about you. I'm going to stay here and talk with John for a while.
All right, Mother. Goodbye, mister. Marmee?
Yes, Beth?
I don't think the man intended to harm me. He was just very scared.
Mm-hmm.
He kept apologizing for causing me discomfort. Mother, you ought not be too harsh with him.
Yes, I understand, Beth. Now run along. I'll join you shortly.
Yes, Mother.
She's a fine girl.
And a perceptive one, too. She knew you were in trouble.
Please forgive me for being so rude to your little girl. I was just desperate.
Yes, I'm aware of that. You're running away from the Confederates, and we're going to help you.
You will?
My husband is an officer with the Union forces, and we both oppose slavery, so let me help.
If I hadn't run away, they'd have been forcing me to fight against good men like your husband.
Would you like to stay here till evening?
Yes, if you allow me to hide here till dark, I knows I could get away.
John, when they come here, this is the first place they'll look.
Well, then what am I gonna do, ma'am?
Inside our home would be a better idea. You'd be ever so much safer there.
Oh, that's mighty nice of you, but you'd be in a mess of trouble if they find me there. This shed'll be fine, Mrs. March.
You can trust our whole family. Please, John.
I remember this as a time of fearful excitement and confusion. We were all relieved that no harm had come to Beth, and at the same time we were concerned for that poor runaway John. We fell to work with hearty goodwill in the hope that he might soon be free again.
You girls have never seen this, have you?
Hey!
No one will ever suspect this house has a cellar. So few in this area were made with one.
No, Mother, I had no idea.
Me neither.
Our very own hiding place. It's dark as a tomb down there.
There you are, John. It isn't very large, but at least you'll be safe.
Don't you be fretting, it looks fine. This is more help than I deserve. I'm much obliged to you.
Watch your step now. I'm sorry, but you can't have a light down there, you know.
Don't worry. We'll come and get you the very minute the danger is past, John.
If you're ready, son, I'll close the trap door now.
That'd be just fine, ma'am. And thank you.
John was now alone in the darkness. He was mortally afraid of what might become of him if he were to be discovered by the Confederates. Meanwhile, we hurried to right up the drawing room.
There should be 4 round indentations in the rug. Replace the sofa carefully and no one will suspect a thing.
I've done that. Now the room's completely back in order.
Mercy! I couldn't stand being shut in the dark all by myself, Joe.
Just bring that to mind the next time you think of shirking your household duties.
Joe!
Never mind. And now, dear, I'd like you to go outside again and try to determine if the army started searching for John yet.
Oh, yes'm.
It's extremely important that all of you girls behave as if nothing were different. Please pay no heed at all to the cellar.
We understand. Oh, Mother, would it be all right if I played the piano now?
Yes, you may.
John is very scared, isn't he? And we might find that the music would be soothing to all of us.
Indeed. Why don't you play one of your favorite compositions, Beth?
It was ever so dark and dismal for John down in the cellar. But when Beth began to play that charming piece so splendidly, I dare say that his spirits improved almost instantly. Beth soon became lost in her music, and while I lay on the carpet having a jolly time with Milky Ann, Marmee and Meg busied themselves with their embroidery. Under the circumstances, I shouldn't have thought we would enjoy ourselves half as much as we did. But while we waited for the Confederates to arrive that afternoon, we actually forgot our cares in that cozy little room together. All right, please try to be nice and be careful of my fingers now, Milky Ann. While we portrayed anything but the topsy-turvy state we truly felt, Joe was around the neighborhood discovering a flurry of excitement.
Baker, where do you suppose John's gone off to?
Since we found tracks through the cornfield leading this way, it's my bet he headed here to find shelter until nightfall. It's obvious he'd be spotted just walking down the street, so I think he must have ducked into one of these homes. We'll search them one by one if we have to. Collins, you take this side of the street, Phillips the other. Report anything suspicious to me immediately. Now move!
Yan!
My embroidery's getting better. Anything yet?
No, and so much time has passed, you'd think we would have heard something by now.
Well, perhaps the army isn't searching for John at all.
Oh, Meg. You're simply not being realistic.
Marmee, will the soldiers be coming right into our home?
We just don't know yet. It could be.
What on earth was that?
It's only Joe, Meg.
The soldiers are on their way! Listen, the searching party is headed in our direction. They're moving from house to house, going inside, Marmee, and questioning everyone.
John couldn't make out any words, but knew there was trouble because the music had stopped so suddenly.
Girls, please be calm. We're about to be put to the test, so make your father proud. And whatever you do, keep your eyes away from the cellar.
Marmee, if it won't be a bother, I have a favor to ask you.
Yes, what, Meg?
Thank you. I just don't trust myself. I might ruin everything by casually gazing right at the cellar. May I go upstairs?
Yes, dear, of course you may. Don't apologize, Meg. It's probably unnatural for all of us to be in the same room together anyway. So get yourself upstairs, dear, and don't even give it another thought.
Marmee, may I go upstairs?
Yes, you may. And you as well?
No, I'm staying.
Now, what would you like to do, Beth?
The piano does make me feel a little less fidgety, so may I play?
Of course.
Thank you, Mother.
All right, men, this house is next. Let's see if we get lucky. Weapons at the ready now, man. Anybody in there? Open up.
Oh, my.
Confederate Army.
At that instant, the whole house tensed up. Hannah felt it too, and it disturbed her extremely.
We know you're in there.
Yet not one of us was as mortally afraid as poor John. The soldiers were determined to find him and would stop at nothing.
We have reason to believe a runaway Negro is being harbored here.
The moment we dreaded was here, and we all knew we'd soon be put to a test of courage.
Fortunes of war can change their way.